I'm Kayla.
Kayla.
Liz.
Liz.
And Ashley.
And Ashley. Okay, great. So the three of you came to this event last year, right? Right, okay. And you were inspired to take what you learned home with you. So what did you do?
We did a couple of different things just to raise money. We were really inspired because we heard about all these people that were doing good things, and we realized that we don't really do anything with our life whatsoever. So we decided that we were going to make a difference. And so we raised some money to build wells in Ghana.
Just some money?
We raised about $64,000.
$64,000. Give it up, like seriously. These three girls were sitting in the same seats that you are right now. And what they did is they took it home with them, and they made a huge difference in people's lives. Okay, all that money is going to Ghana, and what is going to happen with that money?
Well, 3 wells they're complete, and another 3 wells, they're in the process of being dug.
Being dug.
Yeah.
And then you guys are going to Ghana, or are all of you, or just
you?
Yeah,
all of us.
In July.
Yeah, end of June.
End of June. Okay, so you guys actually get to experience that you rated before. Wow. That's awesome. Okay, so what have you guys learned this past year that you feel like in doing all this that you could share with this audience?
I would say just start something. Like, we're the most average 3 girls ever. I don't know. I always thought you had to be in a huge position of power or something like that, but just go for anything, really. I don't know.
Just go for it. You guys had a passion, and you just went for it, and people responded, right? What would you say?
Yeah, I would say just start something, and God really will just take it from there, because we started with a really small goal, and it just multiplied.
Multiplied. And your church got behind you too, right? So you started, which is great for all the youth leaders here, that you guys had a passion, and your church said, and you shared it, and they wanted to support you in that. What about you? What would you say you learned this year?
Honestly, I mean, we worked and we did stuff, but we didn't really do that much. It was like we decided we were gonna do it, and then all of these doors opened up as like ways we could do it. Like, God wanted this done, He just needed people who were willing to do it. And we had willing hearts, and I feel like He just used us to help build wells.
Okay, so how do you raise $64,000? How did you guys do it?
To be honest, the first thing we did was this little lady right here. She tie-dyed herself blue.
She tie-dyed herself blue. So your face, your arms, your neck, the back of your neck, your hair? Or did you keep your hair?
No.
Okay. Hair stayed. Your legs, your feet. Did you like wipe it on? How do you tie-dye yourself?
It was kind of complicated. One of our first failed ideas for raising money was to tie-dye our own t-shirts. These are the ones we have now, but we were going to draw that logo on with a Sharpie, and so we ended up our hands got covered in blue from doing the t-shirts, and I was like, well, if I dyed my whole self blue, I think people would notice a lot more. And so
you think you would notice?
Yeah.
Like, Smurfs over here, right? Okay,
someone asked me if I was trying to be a Smurf.
Smurf, yep.
But it took a couple hours, and I was laying out there with cloths on my face.
And so your whole body was blue, and then you guys went to the mall, right?
We went to the mall and Walmart and Target. Yeah.
And you wore these shirts that said, "Ask me why I'm blue."
Yeah.
And so people, I'm guessing, asked you.
Yeah.
Because technically it's against the rules if you go up and ask people for money, but if you draw attention to yourself by being blue, and I don't know if you've seen her beautiful hair, but she had it teased up, nice and large, so she drew a lot of attention to herself. And we all had signs that was like, ask us why she's blue, and we had a bunch of us, like I know some people right there, that's our youth group, they came with us and we all wore blue shirts and we just drew a lot of attention. But as long as people come to you, it's not against the rules.
So that's amazing. And what other ways did you, so that raised some money. How else did you guys raise this money?
We, like I said, from the money from doing the Ask Me Why I'm Blue, we got enough money to start t-shirts and bracelets that we started making.
So you started selling the bracelets and t-shirts and other different parties you guys did and things like that, or collections through your church?
Yeah, and then we had a big night of worship on Christmas Eve at our church, and that raised like $30,000, I think, that night. It
That's
was really
amazing. So what I love about this story is you guys were passionate about something, and you didn't just talk about it, you did it. And you saw how people around you responded, right? The community joined you in this passion that you had and believed in you and supported you. And now there's 3 wells in Ghana that did not exist before last year, right? Like before this year. Last year when you were sitting in these seats, those people, the children, the mothers, the dads, did not have access to clean water. And now this year, within 1 year, you've done this, and you're going to go meet the people that are impacted by the work and service that you provided. That's amazing, right? Okay, last thing, yeah, seriously, right? So if I was to ask you how could you encourage this audience? What would you say to them as a last thought?
I would say, like I said, just whatever your passion is, or just absolutely go for it, because we really brought like the minimum to the table. We have really no talents or anything, but
I would tend to disagree, but it's okay. Keep going.
But really, God did it all. Like, it was not us.
But you were willing to pursue it. Would you add anything to that?
Yeah. I just had something to say, and it just left my brain. Yeah. Give me just 1 second.
Just a second. If you could encourage these people in one way to do what they're doing, what would you
I
say?
got it now. I would say, I mean, like Liz said, seriously, we're the most average people you've ever met. We're from Hickory, North Carolina, which I know you've never heard of.
Except for your family
all
and
these
friends.
people right here. But I mean, seriously, it was all God, and we were willing, I think is what the thing was. I mean, I feel like there are tons of people in this room right now that want to do something, they just don't know how. And honestly, I mean, we had tons of failed ideas. I mean, don't think that this was just like oh my gosh, they got $64,000 in a day, because we didn't. But I mean, it was like a work in progress and a learning experience. And I mean, we just did it. Like, there's a difference between like wanting to do it and then actually doing it.
That's awesome. Okay, so you're at $64,000 right now, right? $64,000. What's the goal that you have for this? Do you have a goal?
Well, our goal at the start was to raise $5,000 by Christmas, and Do Good last year was in July, right? And so we were trying in about 5 or 6 months to get $5,000, and by Christmas we'd gotten to around $50,000. And since then, we've only raised about $10,000. But our goal, we're not really sure. We're just gonna kind of see what God has in store for us.
You're just gonna keep pursuing it in some way. That's great. So here's the deal: if you don't raise $64,000, it's not a failure, right? It's the reality that you're pursuing something you felt like you should do, and you did it, and you failed along the way. There were some fundraisers you did that didn't make anything, right?
And like for a while, we were just have plateaus, you know what I'm saying? And we're like, oh, this is gonna be a fail.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, well here's the deal. You're at $64,000. And so at Do Good, we wanted to start a fund. So every year that you guys come back to this event, we want to be able to support the work and stories like this that we're doing. So because of all the people in this room that bought tickets to come to this event, we're going to add another $1,000 to that and donate $1,000 to Clean Wells. So you're at $65,000 right now. All right? Cool. All right. Can you guys give it up for these 3 people? These are the examples.